and I, you know, but it's clearly afternoon. So thank you, Mom, for that.
You're welcome. Welcome. We are on now. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. Dr. Lester, go ahead.
Yes, so we want to get right to it. We thank you for participating in this first, I'm gonna speak it into existence, annual International Education Week Forum, where we as a system take some time to discuss issues of importance to the international, to those of us who work in the international education space. And so we're very excited about today and what we are going to be talking about. We have an outstanding panel, and I'm going to introduce them now. First, we have with us from Southern University at Shreveport, Dr. Ken Aniichi. Dr. Ken was born in Nigeria, the first child of Dr. and Mrs. Ralph Aniichi, doctors. He was inspired by his father, and he also obtained a Doctor of Medicine degree from the University of Nigeria. His primary care internship and residency followed from 1997 to 2000. Following his relocation to the United States, he joined the SUSLA Jaguar family in 2002 as an assistant professor in biology, teaching human anatomy and physiology. He has attained additional certifications and training in information technology and education. He is currently an associate professor in the STEM department and an informal liaison officer between the international students and the Chancellor, and we depend on him very, very much. His hobbies including playing basketball, soccer, and reading. Also from Southern University at Shreveport, we have Mr. Elijah Tete. Mr. Tete was born and raised in Liberia, Africa, and he currently resides in Shreveport with his family. For the past 11 years, Mr. Tete has worked at Southern University at Shreveport. He is currently the network manager and the campus director for the Baptist Collegiate Ministry on our campus, SUSLA, and he works with international students with their spiritual and academic needs. In Liberia, Mr. Tete previously taught in theological universities, pastored college students in Jos, Nigeria, and he at the New Zion Baptist Church in Bossier City for several years. He has traveled extensively and served with his wife as a missionary to Ghana, West Africa, and Croatia, Eastern Europe. From Southern University at New Orleans, we have with us Dr. Mustafa Al-Assar. He is an experimental nuclear physicist of all things, which is amazing to me. Dr. Al-Assar earned his PhD from Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. He received his Master's of Art in Physics from the same institution. He joined Southern University at New Orleans, the physics faculty in fall 1997. Prior to that, he had a postdoctoral appointment at Kent State and Louisiana Tech. His area of research is experimental nuclear physics with an emphasis on the study of heavy ion collisions, electromagnetic structure of the nuclear and hypernuclear structure. He is currently professor of physics in the natural science department. He teaches calculus-based general physics, and he also has taught advanced courses for physics majors, wave phenomena, and such. He has been a member of different research collaborations since 1993 and has received numerous awards from SUNO because of his service to the university, including the Chancellor Award and Appreciation. He's earned a number of grants, and as I appreciate it, has also served as president of the Faculty Senate, which is a huge responsibility. With us, we are glad to have Dr. Al-Assar. Also from Southern University at New Orleans, we have Dr. Josephine Oroquano, and I mangled her name, and I'm sorry. She is the Director of Student Development and International Services at Southern University at New Orleans. Dr. O began her higher education career at Loyola University as weekend advisor, special assistant to the vice president, where she worked in that role for 3 years. She subsequently served as an instructor in the writing lab at Xavier. She, after a brief stint there, she accepted a position as counselor international student advisor at Southern University at New Orleans, becoming director of the center in 2007. Dr. O was born and raised in Nigeria, began her studies and received her national certificate in education with a major in English language and a minor in Igbo from the Alvan Oku College of Education. She received her bachelor's degree from Xavier University in English, magna cum laude, by the way. She received her master's degree in guidance and counseling from Loyola University, New Orleans. She recently earned her terminal degree in public policy from Southern University in Baton Rouge. She has presented papers in numerous conferences as it relates to international assessment and retention. She is a recipient of numerous awards and grants. She was awarded the SUNO Mentor of the Year. She's gotten awards from the Higher Education Engagement Award, Louisiana Campus Compact Grant, Disaster Preparedness, and Strengthening International Students at HBCUs. She indicates she's the wife and mother of 6 and grandmother of 4. And I'm here to say that Dr. O is aging backwards. I don't know how she does it, but she's gonna have to tell me how she does that. From the main campus, thank you, Dr. O. From the main campus, we have with us Mr. Eric Pugh, who serves as the Dolores Margaret Richard Spikes Honors College Program Associate. For those of us like myself who graduated from Southern University in the 90s, saying the name Dolores Margaret Richard Spikes means something. That's just, I had to say that. And he's a recruiter, was a recruiter for Southern University. He's been employed at Southern in the main campus for over 26 years. He has a Bachelor of Science degree from the College of Business in 1991 and a Master's of Public Administration in 1993. He recently served as the national president for the Association of African American Honors Programs in 2019. Mr. Pugh is very active in Southern University as he serves in many capacities. He's one of the many campus coordinators for the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute. He's a faculty representative for Spanish-speaking countries, a part of the Office of the Center of International Education and University Outreach. He's an advisor for the Honor Students Association. He's a liaison for the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. He's an advisor for John G. Lewis Lodge 261. He's a member of Southern University's External Affairs Committee. He's done outreach work for the mayor's office in the city parish of East Baton Rouge. He's done outreach with the Office of Community Development. He's an advisor for the University Honors Ambassador and a member of the Beta Iota Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. He serves as the campus advisor for the Beta Sigma chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. He's recently been certified with online training through Quality Matters and is an IBM badge, has earned an IBM badge as Enterprise Design Thinking Practitioner. Mr. Pugh is a distinguished scholar who has written several approved grants for the university and worked to bring new partnerships through collaborations with Google and Apple to Southern University. More importantly to our discussion, he has been very active in supporting Southern University's study abroad initiatives for over 25 years. Mr. Pugh has traveled extensively, and I do mean extensively, from Mexico, Belize, and Africa over the years. He's sent over 100 students to participate in study abroad programs in countries such as Mexico, Belize, Senegal, Ghana, Brazil, and China. He continues to work in higher education and continues to support the idea of global education with students to ensure overall quality experience for them. Thank you, Mr. Pugh, and thank you for this entire panel for your willingness to have this discussion, and I'm very excited. So we're gonna jump right into it. Our rules are really simple. I'm gonna ask questions and let you guys talk. And we'd ask that if you feel strongly about a question, to take your time and answer it to give our audience as much information as they can. So the first question would seem to be an obvious question, but it's not really obvious to everyone. In your mind, what is international education? Anyone can take that. What is international education to you?
Do you want me to
Yes,
start?
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you,
Like
Doctor.
for me, you know, I was born in Egypt. So when you talk about international education, I'm thinking about study abroad. I came to United States to get my higher degrees, my master and my PhD. Uh, in Egypt, for example, we don't have a lot of technology. All new technology is very expensive. So the Egyptian government cannot afford research for all the graduate students. So some of us has to come abroad. Like for example, my experiment cost the American government about $2 million, you know. So a country like Egypt or any other third world countries will not going to be able to do this research locally. So this is when my understanding about international education.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to, would anybody else like to chime in on what they believe international education is to them?
Yeah, this is Mr. Pugh, Southern University, Baton Rouge. Overall, international education involves the education of that particular country. So what you need to have an understanding, you know, you need to be educated in the history of that particular country, the values of that particular region. You know, you have to be knowledgeable of everything within that particular country. Overall.
Gotcha. Thank you. So if any, yes, Dr. O, unmute yourself, ma'am. Not yet. There we go.
Okay, I think international education is a transformative experience where one student leaves, for instance, Nigeria to come to the United States. And this student from Nigeria comes to America and becomes transformed all over. You're no longer the same when you experience international education. You can stay in Nigeria and still learn about the world, and you're still embracing international education. So it's a transformative experience for me personally. I left Nigeria a long time ago and came to America. I am transformed to the point that when I travel back home, I'm no longer the same person who left that country. So that's what it is for me, transformational experience.
Does anybody else on the panel want to take that question?
Yes, this is Dr. Ken Ayanechi from SUSLA. I just want to, make it quite simple. If we take a look at inter in Latin, that means between, national, nations. So education between nations, basically that's what international is. You could actually travel to that other country, or you could be still where you are domiciled originally, but learn about another country. So as far as you're learning something foreign, something from another nation, basically that is international.
Great.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Elijah Tate here at Southern University. Dr. Kim has already said it. I think to add to that, it's basically, going across, one's border to learn and to be equipped, to be a world student, where they can learn culture, share, values from different, people, and that is to increase, vast knowledge of students from different perspectives in their learning process.
Great. So let me ask my next question, and I'll start with you, Dr. O. You started to mention it, but my question to you is, how do you come to be involved in the whole idea of international education?
Okay. When I came to America, I'm sure you know what this is. I came on F2. I was a dependent spouse. and my husband was on F1. We happened to end up at Loyola, and at Loyola, I was doing my internship in guidance and counseling and happened to do it in the international office. So that's how it started with me. And I said, I can do this job. And so the director then took me in and taught me all the ideas about international education, how to process I-20s, and I became interested and I've never left. And I've been in it for almost 30 years and I enjoy it because sitting in my chair, I can tell you everything about India. I can tell you about Pakistan because I hear it from my students. They come and I want to learn about their culture so I can know how to relate to them. So that's how I came into international education.
Dr. Alessar, how did you become involved in international education?
Actually, when I went to Kent State, the College of Education, they had a program. And this program to bring international students and take them to middle school, elementary school, and to educate all the American students about different nations. Like, I used to represent Egypt, some people from Nigeria, because for me, like in Egypt, we study a lot about international geography and history. So we know a lot of information, but unfortunately, the American students, they may be studying, but it's not the same intensity that we study. So they're trying to make a face to whatever the American students studying in class. So I start to like the idea. And when I came to SUNO, I start to do it on my own. Whenever I see a teacher, I said, oh, I'm from Egypt. I can come talk about my country. I can come about my physics. And I was very surprised when Katrina happened that people said that a lot of the people in New Orleans, they never travel outside of New Orleans. So I felt like for me, I'm a kind of an ambassador. So the students in my class, they see somebody, they bring a face to how's the Egyptian look like, they appreciate, what we learn and, that we are here to help them to study and all those things, So this is how I got involved in international education.
How about you, Dr. Ken?
Yes, I really enjoyed what Dr. Lassa said right now because his experience is quite, I'm quite familiar with that. I have students from all over the world in my classes. And because they see my name, some used to call me Dr. A. Let me just talk about Dr. O. You're Dr. O, I'm Dr. A here. And they used to come and, we used to discuss and we exchanged a lot of, knowledge. International education goes both ways, It's not just those who come over here that learn the culture here and the ways here. Those here, local to the United States, also learn a lot from those that come over too. So sometimes, in the classroom, when we have a little extra time, we do discuss these. Education doesn't have to be formal. There are so many types of informal international education that goes on in my classes as well. And also some of them came with personal issues that needed to be solved. And so, as we were trying to go through all these together, I actually knew more and more about these people, their cultures and all that. And it's something I really wanted everybody to share, everybody in the classes.
Mr. Tate, how did you become involved in international education?
Well, I became involved myself being an international student. Several years that I stayed in Nigeria from Liberia and, working with students on campuses, I noticed that students were so, the needs of students, especially those of international students, that came to the school, especially, having to want to learn the culture, want to be a global student, I saw the difficulties they were going through, you know, being able to integrate into the culture and the way of life, you know, within those institutions. And so when I came to Southern University myself, where, you know, I started off, I noticed that, you know, as an international student, I mean, unlike today, you know, we didn't really have, you know, international student body or leader. So we were just left alone to feel, you know, to ask ourselves, I mean, what are we here to do? And for me, that triggered, you know, a concern for me to get involved with students here at Southern University. And I said to myself, well, if it happens to me and I, you know, I felt the weight of being international, you know, being international students and don't have anybody to talk to, you know, perhaps, you know, people are not listening to me because of the way I sound and the way I look, you know, so I felt like, you know, it's a way to bring students, international students really to feel at home and away from home. And also looking at issues like, for example, international students coming, you know, here or in any institution, they come in with the notion that everything's going to be all right. But when they get here, you know, they find out that whatever promises they may have received, maybe parents back home, their life has changed. So difficulties of finances and all of that became a real, you know, became an issue. So those concerns really drove me to get involved here at Southern University with this program, Baptist Collegiate Ministry. And we have, over the years, in fact, have several programs among the students. International Week is this month. We conducted that several, you know, I think over 3 years, and we kind of integrated international students with, you know, other students on campus. And since then, it has really helped me to see more and more, you know, the needs of our students and to be able to help them integrate and have the best experience for which they are here. And so this is how I got involved, and I'm still looking forward to seeing, you know, what we can all do together to help our international students, not just those who are here, but to pave the way for those who want to come. Let me just, before I finish, because one of the things is that for those of us that come from Africa, I mean, it's a goal, or it is a good thing to come, you know, leave your country to come over to, you know, any international learning, because it really broadens your ideas, broaden your learning experience. And so, so I know there are a lot of people out there who want to come, but my thing is that making sure that those who are here having the best experience they can, so that they too can go back and tell others to come as well, enjoy the, you know, the same, you know, learning experience that I enjoy here, being here. So this is how I got involved, and looking forward to keep doing what I do here at Southern University.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pugh, how did you come to be involved in international education?
Well, actually, I was introduced to study abroad programs through State Representative Barbara Carpenter, and also the former dean of the college, which was Beverly Wade at that particular time. And so we also—
Beverly Wade.
Yeah. So actually, we had a Title III grant in which the Honors College was actually funding the students initially to participate in the Mexico Study Abroad program. So also Vice Chancellor William Moore was a part of the first group to help to establish that memorandum of understanding in Mexico. So at that particular point, I didn't get a chance to go the first year, but I got a chance to go in 1996 with one of the largest groups that we had to participate in Mexico, which was around 28. So once again, we've worked very closely with Dr. Carpenter with her international office to make sure that we get full participation for our students to travel abroad to the various countries around, you know, around the globe.
Right. So I'm gonna give you the next question. How has international education impacted your career?
Oh, I've grown tremendously. Yes, I've grown tremendously through what I've learned and seen over the years in the various countries. I mean, you know, as far as towards my professional development and growth, I have a better understanding of the educational systems in those particular countries, you know, how, I guess, the value of education and the value of things there, I appreciate more of what I've learned through having firsthand experience, you know, in different settings, whether or not it's in the school setting, in the governmental setting, at the service learning sites. You know, the only way that you actually are going to learn and have a better understanding and appreciation of things is you have to be engaged 100% in the culture.
Outstanding. So let me ask Mr. Tate, how has international education impacted your career? Unmute yourself, Mr. Tate.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
It's really, I think it has helped me to first build that experience of identity, you know, knowing who I am, because it's one of the things that I think really helped, because coming from where, you know, Africa, Liberia, where, you know, I grew up, and also coming over here, the experience of being able to have, you know, most of, you talk about, you know, education that is available, you know, in the four MACU, unlike back, you know, in Liberia. So it really impacted me a lot, especially the culture here as well, and being able to experience, you know, beyond what I thought, you know, back home, and what it's, you know, teaching experience here and the learning experience here. So it made it very unique, and that really impacted me. And I think one area that I think I wanted to learn, but I think I have more to resources than what it was back home, you know, in terms of, you know, or you talk about textbooks and what have you. So those really, you know, helped me a lot and impacted me. And also I would say, well, you know, being able to meet with a lot of students here as well, you know. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Ken. How has international education impacted your career, sir?
Well, like many of us here, I'm also a product of international education. Ever since I came here, I've got all kinds of certifications here. It's enriched my life, my career, and also I've also learned a lot from others too, both locally here and other international students. And it gives me so much satisfaction when actually I help an international student, you know, one way or the other. I learn from them, they learn from me. It gives me a good sense of personal satisfaction, you know, that way. So it's always a give and take.
Thank you. Dr. LSR, tell me how international education has impacted your career, sir. You have to unmute yourself, Doc. There you go.
I would like to mention something before I answer this question.
Yes, sir.
My first experience when I came to United States, the way the Office of International Students at I went to North Carolina State University first before I moved on to Kent State. So the way they do it is they have an international dorm. The international dorm, your roommate has to be American students. So this is why, to try to make the culture, you be familiar how to deal with American and, you know, all those things. And the same thing, the American students learn about your culture. You know, you live together, you eat together, you know. So right. you have this, you know. So I personally, I became, what do you call it, relaxed. I didn't have attention. I didn't become isolated, and you know, all those things. As a foreign students, they have homesickness, and I was lucky I didn't have this. When in physics, we have a lot of international students and international faculty, so it make me easy to deal with all the people I'm around. So this is how it helped me, make me comfortable in dealing with, even like I have one of my professor was from Japan. It's very hard to follow him, but I learn a lot from him,
Right.
So all those things make me progress in my studies and dealing with people.
Thank you, sir. Dr. O, how has international education impacted your career, ma'am?
Yeah, I can tell you that without the international education experience, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because I've learned from American students, they come to me when I first got to SUNO. They'll come to me and wonder, how come that each year at SUNO, that is always the international students who come top of the class? I say, well, let me give you a little secret. They come from a serious, and I think one of the speakers alluded to this, is comparative education, because in the British system, it's very rigorous in high school. And so the Americans would tell me, teach me, Miss O, teach me, tell me, Miss O, how can I be good? And so I influenced some of them, the Americans. And so today they're top of the class. They are now lawyers, and some of them are in pharmacy and medical school. So they have really influenced me too, to go back to school, because I started seeing all my students, they're getting PhD, they're getting MD. I said, if your students are going back and
Yes.
doing all this, it's time for me to go. I went at a very late age. But that's the importance of education. I see students from all over the world. They are hungry for more education. They are hungry. And so some of my American students have learned it. And I also saw the social construction of some of my international students. I don't know how to explain this. I think Dr. Elias kind of alluded to this, because some international students, they feel alone. Some students talk about them, all negative, but they give them credit that they are smart. So if we can find a way to merge international students with American students, that would be great in HBCUs.
So that leads to my next question. I'm glad you opened the door for this. My question is this: how can international education, and we'll start with you, Dr. O, how can international education impact students of this country as well as international students?
Okay, one of the major ways is through the academic influence. Like I said earlier, and Dr. Elias alluded to it, I have found that at SUNO, for instance, many of the Americans are not in the same areas. And you find out that many of the international students are the same students. They make a difference in STEM. And so I will encourage us at HBCUs to kind of merge these two students so that the American students can become to be interested in STEM areas, because our students, international students, they are mainly in the STEM fields. So we need to look into that, because there are STEM fundings out there as scholarship for STEM students, but unfortunately, many international students are not eligible because they are foreigners, quote unquote. So in the STEM areas, one critical area that we need to address, we can begin to make the international students mentors or tutors for the American students.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Elisar, tell me, in your opinion, how can international education impact students in this country as well as students from abroad?
Yes, like for me, like we all international students, when we came, we are from different background, poor, rich, and all those areas, right? And we have one shot to get the degree, just one shot. If you miss it, if you fail, if you don't complete it, so so we telling the students, our students, you are guys, you are lucky, because whenever you can come back to school, you can go back to school anytime. For us, it is only one shot, and you have to work very hard. So we let them know hard work will produce to you. Like we are, thank God, we're living in a good life. All right. So this tells them that hard work will produce. So this one thing. The other thing, we tell them you can do it. If we don't know the language, for example, when we first came, and we have no relative, we have no financial support, and you are here, you have your families around you, you mastering the language, and so you can do it. So we give them hope. We give them hope that by hard work, they can do this. And also you're bringing all the world for them they can see it instead of they traveling. If they travel, it will be better, but we show them everybody. We tell them about Egypt, we tell them about Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia. So now they can relate to the international geography, and they can appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ken, how can international education impact students in the United States as well as our students from abroad, in your opinion?
Well, you know that international education is all about diversity. And if you realize that diversity promotes or brings about multiculturalism. Many of our guests here talked about international students feeling lonely and dejected and all that stuff. What causes that? Many of us here have a kind of stereotype, a bad stereotype about what happens abroad in other climes. But if there is what you call this multicultural understanding, due to the diversity we have here, there's going to be a better understanding. You know, students learn a lot, both those who are here and those who are coming here. If you understand each other more through this cooperation, this multicultural understanding, you start to see all these stereotypes as just what they are. And that helps to boost a lot of students. You know, many students have a lot of self-esteem issues because, for example, they don't know their history, or they've been given stories of, terrible things about their history. If an international student comes and, they learn their background, see that they are really proud people. That helps to boost their self-esteem for those who are here. And then if there's that cooperation and understanding, those international students will feel welcome as well. And once they are welcoming, they're gonna tell other people, hey, if you go to Southern University, it's a very welcoming environment. And so international education is very core to the values of the Southern University system. I think I was looking at our core values of Southern University. Diversity is actually there. And what happens at Southern is a microcosm of what happens in the greater USA, because if you take a look throughout the US, which areas have the greatest, which areas are the centers of innovation? If you look at the centers of innovation in the US, you see that these are melting pots, regions of melting pots, where you have this cultural cooperation, multiculturalism going on, and that brings the very best of everybody. And so if we could establish that kind of multiculturalism right here in Southern University, we could be the center of innovation here. And from there, I mean, nobody could beat us. And so international education is core to that. It fosters understanding, boosts our students' esteem, and from there, the sky is the limit. So it's very essential.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to add something
yes,
to the discussion,
Yes.
Like for me, even I'm in Egypt, I was not a minority, but I was feeling inferior compared to the European, because we used to be occupied by the European, whatever they give us the leftover, So when I come here and I see the students, like Dr. Ken said, they don't know their history. You know, they don't know that their grandparents produced all those civilizations, right? And is this civilization is not, you know, only one race is the European couldn't do anything without the African education. You know, we have Timbuktu, we have the library in Alexandria, you know, in Chinese. So whatever we have here is international.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That Dr. Ken said that they can tell that we can do it. If our grandparents did it, so we can do it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Tate, how, in your opinion, can international education impact our students here at Southern, as well as the students coming to us from abroad?
Okay. I think that the old said something that really interests me, and I was alluding to, you know, to earlier about students, international students. Myself, when I came here, in fact, I became, you know, I'm where I am today because when I came here, I became, I mean, you know, the top line student in the IT department. In fact, upon my graduation, I got this job, and here today, I'm the network manager. So that is to say, you know, a lot of students, international students, even at Southern University, I found out to be true. A lot of international students they are doing real well when it comes to classroom, you know, learning. They are good students, you know, a lot of them, and most of the faculties will tell you that the best student they have in their classes, most of them are international students. So what I think will happen is that what will really happen is that if we can encourage that interaction between international students and domestic students. The reason I'm saying that is that it's one of the problems that I found within our institutions, that most of the program, in fact, let me be sure to here at Southern University, I've watched program design only for student body, and nothing within that program actually integrate international students. But yes, the students themselves, even within that program, they know that international students are the very good students among us. They have, you know, classroom interaction. They, you know, they are very good. They are, you know, talk about, you know, cooperative learning in classroom. Those things need to be incorporated within our institution to allow these, you know, international students to make impact on the local students. For example, here at Southern University, what I found out student success I started doing was to use international students as tutoring, you know, to tutor other students. And I can tell you this, a lot of the students that, you know, international students that were involved in that, you know, tutoring other students, I can tell you there are a lot of students, local students here in, you know, at Southern University will tell you that they got to learn math, you know, science, you know, from international students. And they were able to improve. So that impact of being able to integrate, you know, learning in our classroom program that are, you know, designed to pair, you know, international students and also local students together, and also embarking on programs that we can stimulate and get international students involved, you know, will do a greater good, you know, as we move forward. So that's one of the key. And lastly, they can also make an impact because let's think about, let's say, the way we do tuition, you know, in our institution. And this one thing I know all of you listening, you know, are part of the system. I think right now, one of the complaints that I have, you know, a lot of students are having difficulties is the higher tuition they have to pay here at Southern University. You know, I mean, Southern University, that's what students tell me. I've not made that comparison, but as a two-year college, you know, for example, I mean, I don't know what we have to compete with, you know, four-year college student, you know, colleges based on tuition. But most of our students, I mean, every year tuition go up, maybe, you know, 50% or, you know, 30%. For me, it's not helping international students to get to engage our local students, because the more they get so much concerned with other stuff, they won't be able to do that. And students too will not be able to impact, you know, international students. And in fact, if we are going to draw a lot of students from from international to come here. We have to make sure those we have first, they are, you know, comfortable being here. We treating them right, you know, so that they can influence those, you know, out of this country to come as well.
Dr.
Thank you, sir.
Can I add on to what he's saying?
Yes, please do, because I was coming to you.
Okay. Yeah, I break it down to 4 areas so the students can have an understanding how it will impact them. And I said through personal growth, professional development, networking, and cultural experiences. So for the first one, every human being, especially our students, need to experience being a foreigner in another country. They need to go through new experiences and see things from different perspectives to appreciate things more, like the value of money, home ownership, even the value of education. So when they come back into the States, they will have a greater appreciation and love for things back home and not take things for granted.
Right.
Number 2, professional development. Study abroad opportunities are available for students to utilize on these trips. And I know that our programs have service learning sites where they can work at schools, factories, governmental agencies, hospitals, health facilities for professional growth. This provides the students with opportunities to do the independent research or studies in their discipline, gain good work ethics, interpersonal and communication skills. They get firsthand experience on how things are done in another country. And from this experience, they can do substantial comparative analyses on issues relating to their majors. And this is a great opportunity for STEM majors. Also with networking, every country has a perception of Americans, especially African Americans, from what they view on television and social media. However, our collaborative countries have learned that perceptions are always not valid. So this is a great opportunity for our students to show our international students the positive outlooks on Blacks and that Black lives matter around the world. Also, they have opportunities to establish networks for future job opportunities in foreign countries, institutional collaborations, or just new personal connections. And for the last thing, for cultural experiences, great opportunities are available for students to learn about the history of the country through natives of the region, tours of museums, and archaeological sites. They get a chance to taste the native foods, listen to the authentic native music, and engage in their cultural practices. And overall, the students love that cultural engagement, especially in the places that we visit, like Brazil, Belize, Senegal, and Mexico. So those areas in which you have the greater impacts on for the students and international students.
Thank you, Mr. Pugh. You alluded to something that I want to bring as far as my next question is concerned, and it's this. Do we, in the HBCU space, have a special obligation to the continent of Africa and African nations specifically in terms of international education? What is your thought about that?
Are you on me?
Yes, sir. I'll start with you.
Yes, and I do agree. I think that every student needs to have a chance to go to the motherland, especially Senegal. And our students do have they get a chance to go to Gorée Island,
Yes.
a particular area in which there's some deep history for our students. And that's the place in which the Europeans took our people, tricked them. Some were beaten, and they carried them to the new country as far as to establish, under slavery. But everybody needs to have that experience of understanding how things are operated in Africa and their deep-rooted history. And everything is taught in Gorée Island.
Great. I will go you, Mr. Tate. Do we in the HBCU space have a particular obligation to the continent of Africa and to African nations in terms of international education?
Yes, we do. we do. In fact, I don't know if there's any institution in the world could do better than the HBCU, reaching out to African students because, and I think the establishment of this institution is, to look at that demographic, to improve the lives of that demographic. And many of our, international students, I mean, they are no different from us, except maybe the way they speak, or maybe the accent. But in terms of learning and all that they experience, we all do. So it is important that we expand, our activities, across from here to Africa. And I think when Africa is better, students here too, African American students, let me put it that way, we also learn, to understand. And one of I think was mentioned not too long ago is the fact that I think there's a need, in fact, for the system to embark on a kind of a program that will allow international students or even local students to travel, every year, to Africa and experience, what it is, to be, here as an American student, also to travel to different places, because again, international students are learning the culture here. I think it's also a need for local students here to also to learn the culture of it. So if we can do that, I think students here in America, especially HBCU students, will be interested to go, to Africa. Talk about Senegal, you talk about Ghana, you talk about Nigeria, Egypt. I mean, there are a lot of places they can go. And let me add, one of the things that I experienced as an international student is that, those of our students, HBCU students, I mean, hardly do not even know much about Africa. It's really amazed me because you would think that, I mean, just looking at the students, you would think they will really be identify with you and really know the basics of, Africa, but a lot of them don't know. I think this will really help. If we do that, thank God you have somebody from Uganda, that exchange also can pave a way for us to see, how our students, across, the continent can engage and improve, our system of leadership, especially within the HBCU, concerning our international students and those of Africa.
Thank you. Dr. Ken, tell me, in your opinion, do we in the HBCU space have a special obligation to the continent of Africa and African nations in terms of international education?
I think in another way, actually talking about something that's very dear to me. I actually believe in Pan-Africanism. I know in those days in the 60s, it was very, in. It's no longer an in thing nowadays, but yes, it was. It's nothing really special. The only way the HBCUs could actually, do something towards this, I believe, is just to encourage more people to travel to Africa. Like, the people before me talked about, Eric and Elijah mentioned this earlier on. It's just an awareness that they will get that they can't actually get that perspective being in the United States. If you go there and see for yourself, all right? I'll just say this here, there's some people who still believe that all you have there are just trees and, lions and tigers roaming the whole place. You
Right.
go there, you see full cities, full towns. People live just like me and you here. They have universities, they have everything. And then you also learn the history. Just like Dr. Elasa was saying, there's lots of history there. You know more about the different peoples, the kingdoms that were there. I mean, it's so much you could learn that could foster unity by just traveling out there. And also, on the other end, I also encourage the Africans to learn more about the struggles of the African Americans in the United States. It goes both ways, because many of them are not really aware of the civil rights movements and all those issues that, is keeping the African American down here in the United States. And so sometimes they are judged wrongly, and that brings that friction we have between the Black Americans and the Africans here. There has to be greater understanding between the two groups of people. And if that could be achieved, that's the essence of Pan-Africanism. And even those who are not directly from Africa and America here, you talk about countries, we have students from Brazil, the Caribbean, like the Dominican and other places. Many of them actually could trace some part of their history to Africa as well. So it's not just, we're not just talking about those who are in the United States of America. Many of our students who are outside Africa actually have some, African DNA in them. And then also, even those from other places like India, Saudi Arabia, when they come over to the US, there are also minorities like, the African Americans. And so, they share the same problems that any African American shares here. So there's a lot of commonality between students here. So we all minority, most of us are, end up being minorities here. So we have common issues we have to deal with. And so that multicultural cooperation is very essential. And so in terms of, what HBCU owes Africa, it's nothing more than just trying to extend that handshake and, cooperation in terms of visits and understanding between the, our peoples. That's basically what it's all about.
Thank you, sir.
Before I lose a thought,
Yes.
since we're on HBCUs, I want to bring this to you all's attention, because one of our greatest factors as far as why we can't get more African Americans or more of our students to participate abroad is finances. So maybe with this new administration, we can concentrate on some type of HBCU global study abroad initiative or grant program that we can kind of get our political congressmen or people to work with President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris to get that established, so we can have, I would say, HBCU secured funding to support study abroad initiatives, because that's the biggest factor. But I want to bring this to you all's attention, because finances is a crucial point to funding students to travel anywhere around the world. And also HBCUs need to concentrate on working with corporations to secure corporate funding for our students. They may be willing. If the university reaches out to these corporations, maybe they can do a match fund to support travel for our students.
That's a great idea.
If we're talking about this, we all need to look at funding, for our students to travel abroad.
That's a great point. Dr. Elisar, tell me, what are you thinking about HBCUs and the obligation? Do we have an obligation, a special obligation, to the continent of Africa and African nations in terms of international education?
We don't want to put pressure on the HBCU. They have their own issue. But really, if this has happened, we do appreciate the effort, because this is, for example, a lot of African countries, they do not have enough technological funding, so like SUBR, they have a very good College of Engineering, and my understanding, they have a lot of equipment we may not have in Africa. So it will be very good for student exchange, some of our, the international students coming from different African country to come to be trained on those equipments, for example. Again, this will improve the whole education system in Africa. And in the same thing, the American student, they can go, African-American student can go see their ancestry, how is the land, how is the people, and, and this is gives them what they call it, sort of pride of themselves, So right. This is a very good, and also like Dr. Ken said, there is a lot of misconception, like, you see Indiana Jones movies and, all the stuff, and people eating monkey brains and, camels and, all the stuff in the middle of the street in Cairo or Lagos or, so they don't see all those advancement that we have in Africa, And some of our university is older than any university in Europe,
Gotcha. Thank you. Dr. O, what do you think about the obligation, or do we have an obligation in HBCUs to build pipelines to the continent of Africa and African nations in terms of international education? What are your thoughts about that, Dr. O?
Dr. Lester, thank you for that question. I think it is of mutual interest to both HBCUs and the African continent to come together like they did in the past. According to history, the first president of Nigeria graduated from Lincoln in the 30s, Lincoln University. That's Zik of Africa. And then the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, graduated from Lincoln. And both of them went back and became presidents of each of their countries. And from history, it tells us that when they became presidents, they established strong relationships with HBCUs, with Dr. Martin Luther King, and helped. I think it was Dr. A that talked about the civil rights.
Yes.
Look into history. President Kwame Nkrumah and President Zik of Nigeria helped in the civil rights. We talked about funding. They provided funding. They're not in America's history books. When I was doing my research, I found this out. They helped with civil rights. They helped to bring African students to Ghana because we needed manpower. And so they sent students to Howard, to Mahoney, to all these HBCUs in those days, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Some of my teachers in Nigeria graduated from Howard, and they will come back and encourage us. Go meet your brothers and sisters in America. So it's going to be a mutual benefit if we can go back to history, how Zik and Nkrumah of Ghana related to our brothers and sisters here, because we are all of the same race. We're going to help each other survive this oppression that is still going on. We suffered, Africa suffered from colonialism, and our brothers and sisters here suffered from slavery, which is almost the same. But we're gonna help each other come out of this oppression. To some extent, I tell you the truth, some white institutions are taking advantage of some African countries, making puku money from them to bring their students here. Why can't HBCUs go to Nigeria? Go make sure that they get into the government quarters and draw up a contract where they send 100 students on scholarship, which is what some of these white institutions are doing. Arizona State University, Harvard University. That's why they fought when President Trump said he was going to stop immigration. Yeah, students coming. That's why they fought, because the total population of their students was more than the domestic students. They're talking about money. That's what they do. So HBCUs, we need to start going to Africa to get some of that money, because some of them have money now. One of the Nigerian ministers built $1 million, more than $1 million building, and we all think he's stupid, in Florida to a white institution because his 2 children graduated from there. I tell my university, SUNO, can go to Nigeria. They have millionaires and billionaires, but we don't try to go there and source the market. The market is there. We should not leave it to predominantly white institutions to be ripping us off. I call it a rip-off. It is us that need to go there. It's going to be of benefit to both the African continent and the HBCUs. We need to go to that market. The funding is there. We have ministers who are billionaires in dollars and pounds. Their children fly first class. And Dr. A, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I hear you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Some of these students are Tule. Why can't they be at SUBR or at SUSLA? Some of them are living in high-class buildings that I cannot afford. Their children paying high tuition at Tule. So we need to source the African market. You can think they are poor. Yes, generally, they don't take care of their people. But when it comes to their children, they send them wherever they want to go to. So we need to go knock on their doors to open that door. So international education can be live and well at HBCUs, and their children can go back and continue the cycle.
So I would like to add something to Dr. Okoronkwo.
Please.
Actually, there is a lot of funding in the State Department for all those relationships. Like between Egypt and the United States, we have what do you call it? Like dual degrees. Like, you know, so the students, graduate students in Egypt, they can come to the United States, do the experimental work, and after that he goes back to Egypt and he graduate and finish his degree in Egypt. All right. So there is a lot of money available for this, you know. So the American side pay the tuition and you know, what living expensive in the United States, and now whenever the advisors goes to Egypt, you know, the Egyptian government pay the, you know, whatever expenses that the American advisor goes there. They have a lot of the program, not only in Egypt, for all the African nations. There is some way or the other he can do it, you know. So why not, like Dr. Okoronkwo, get this money and bring it to the HBCU?
So here's my question, because I want to throw this out, and then we have some questions for the audience that we want to get to, and I'm excited about this discussion. I want to be specific, and we'll start with you, Dr. Elisar. How can Southern University, how can we as Southern University, either as a system or as our individual colleges, how can we, in your opinion, best position ourselves to be a beacon for international education? If you were the I guess the system president and you had the power of the pen, what would you describe as some steps that we need to take to be better in the field of international education?
First of all, are you gonna give me his salary?
Listen, if you got the pen, you have the salary.
All right. Okay. All right. So really, we need to advertise. You know, we need to advertise, and we send our brochures to all the culture office from all those embassies in DC. You know, so this is one thing. And actually, a friend of mine, and he works in Missouri. He's a graduate coordinator for the mathematics and / computer science program. There is a company, and this company, recruit international students from all over the place. I think they pay like $10,000, and they arrange recruiting event in different countries, right? And so my friend and his chancellor or whoever this administrator will go with him, and they go visit those countries and they meet the student and they can deal with them directly. Or you can do a lot of agreements with different universities, like, you know, this will be very good, you know.
Anybody else want to take that question?
Yeah, Dr.
How can we? Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Pew from Southern University's Baton Rouge campus.
Yes, sir.
As I stated earlier, universities should secure financial support. We should have money secured for all of our study abroad programs for all campuses. So if that amount may be $50,000, $50,000 is split between the different campuses to support our study abroad initiatives. Also, number two, I would say promote our great programs that we have already online. Try to figure out ways to promote what we've done through Instagram, Facebook, or get some type of national exposure for our programs that we have, like in Africa, China, Brazil, Belize, those particular areas. And then Dr. O, you stated earlier about Nigeria. If we have contacts in Nigeria, we need to find an institution which we will work with to establish a memorandum of understanding to start a study abroad program in that particular area. And third, I will still say that since we have many corporations that we work closely with here on campus, to see if corporations can provide us with some type of small support towards our study abroad initiatives.
Thank you. Dr. O.
I would like to add something.
Yes, sir. Come on, Dr. E.
In Nigeria, for example, there is a lot of American oil companies all over the place. It's not only Nigeria, a lot of American companies. And those American, really, they have to help us as a Southern University. If we can approach them, get some money to make more communication between us and different countries in Africa. Because they already, like Dr. Kuranko, I think Exxon is there, Chevron is there, everybody, working in the oil industry over there. So those companies, they should help us.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Mustafa. And Dr. Pugh, you raised about going to Nigeria. I can help you. But one thing I'll suggest, since we are now globally united by Dr. Lester and Dr. Mahoney, I'll suggest we do a united proposal, a system-wide proposal to approach all these companies and the big-time government officials so that they can help us with funding, because they have money. For instance, Dr. Eliezer mentioned Nigeria. Yeah, the oil companies around March, I don't know if they will come next year because of COVID, but they usually meet in Houston, and it's a huge conference of all the oil companies. They come together in Houston. Maybe if we can penetrate such an organization. And also network, Dr. Pugh used that word networking. Network with the State Department. Make sure we encourage our American students to go work for the State Department, especially for the embassies, so that when they see an African student with an I-20 from SUNO, SUBR, or SUSLA, they will not hesitate to issue them visa. It happened to one of my students in Kenya. He happened to meet somebody who graduated from HBCU. I said, oh, you're going to SUNO? Here is your visa, no question asked. So that's what we need to do, network with State Departments and send our brochures, not just to the embassies in Washington, to every American embassy in the world. Because some of them say, oh, I don't know about SUNO, I've never heard about it. So they kind of, unfortunately, look down on HBCUs because they are the other race, predominantly white State Department officers making these decisions. So if they see SUBR,
we won't have that problem.
Huh?
We won't have that problem anymore because you have an HBCU grad Kamala Harris in office.
Yes,
Plus
yes.
you're going to have Cedric Richardson there also to help us out, Southern University, to get what done. So we just need to build up on that collaboration, on that partnership, and I think we can get what we need.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Dr. Ken, did you have any thoughts about how we can, as Southern University, as a system, better position herself to be a beacon for international education?
Well, everything we've talked about is wonderful. I've heard a lot here. Advertisement is very good. the scholarships and all that. But I asked one student, I've asked about 2 students or 3, what made you choose Southern University in the first place? And everybody I asked said that, this is a little while ago, that it was the price, really. They compare and take a look, and they saw that Southern University was the most competitive. So that's one thing we should try and, maintain, that competitive edge. If we try to, match other people, bringing up the prices, then, remember, those other schools actually give them other options. Many of those schools give them better advantages in terms of maybe scholarships or school job opportunities, things like that. So the only thing we have, which is more competitive, is that baseline school fees. And so we should try and make sure that we maintain that competitive edge. That's the first thing they see. And that's basically what most of them see. And apart from all the other, the different courses we have there, that price, they take a look at it, because not everybody is rich. They have what they have, and they want to, get the best value for their buck. And so many of them look at that. Another thing I'd just like to add is, if we could just, in the business terms, they say improve the ease of doing business. If students come into the institution, especially these international students, if they could find maybe just one office where they could, start and end everything they need to, do. Many students get frustrated when they have to move from here to here. The more things get complicated for them in a foreign land, the more, you might not be able to retain them. But if we, make it easier for them in terms of, getting their papers ready, getting their courses together, there are just, not more than 1 or 2 offices, they could get everything they need. That will seriously help them a lot, So we've had students who've had problems, they go to this office, they are told to go to this other office, they go to that office, they tell them back to go to that other office. And it's not just international students, many of our local students go through this, excruciating experience, but it's even worse for international students who might not have anybody around here. They don't have family, they don't have friends. They have to watch their money more tightly because they are spending much more than anybody else. They might have problems with accommodation, which they're trying to settle. So, there are so many issues. So if we could just ease the cost of doing business, as well as everything else we talked about, the advertisement, the other stuff, the fees being competitive. Also, as we said, trying to talk to these countries and companies to help with their finance. All that will help a lot to, make sure that we are competitive. And so, yeah, that's the main thing I need to say here. There might be a few things I missed.
Okay.
But that's the main story here.
Thank you. So at this point, we had one question. I really want to squeeze this question in from Dr. Hodges, who's here at SUSLA. His question was, how can we encourage HBCU students and alumni to be educated as to not make assumptions about Africa? Anybody can take that question. How can we encourage HBCU students and alumni to be educated as to not make assumptions about Africa?
Well, I would just say, this is Dr. Ken. I would just say they just have to be able to research on their own. Now, the world is now a global village. You could go on the internet and get any information you need nowadays. And let me tell you this, if you go to Africa and the rest of the world, you're very familiar with American culture because, we get we listen to American music outside there, the movies. So most places are already familiar with, the United States. But the people in the United States are not familiar with other places. But let me tell you just this year, something surprising happened. I turned on the radio, and guess what I heard on the radio? It was Nigerian music here locally in Shreveport. I couldn't believe my ears. You see, this is what I'm talking about. And then I had some students, I heard that the following day, before the school shut down, I went to my class, and I was telling them that I heard this African music on the radio, and half of my students already are familiar with Nigerian music in their classroom, and they are happy. They're so elated. They're so proud to be associated with it. But just a few years ago, that would have been impossible because they not have that awareness,
Yeah.
And so it's very important that we learn. We are actually going out there. We encourage the students to, research, find out things for themselves, and they see that it's not really what they think it is. So, yeah, personal responsibility is the first thing. We just have to encourage the students to be much more, socially conscious and have much more personal responsibility. Gain more personal responsibility for themselves so that they could go out there and see what's there. That's the first, And I encourage my students. I teach anatomy and physiology, but we still spend some time to discuss all these, affairs and these issues as well. So it's not just biology, anatomy, and physiology. So we ourselves individually could enlighten our students, enlighten others on these issues as well. So it's personal first of all, and then it's collective. All of us could actually help our little pieces to help the other people.
I'm glad you said that, sir, because I was really, when I asked the question, I was thinking that, we're socialized in terms of what is nice and what trips look better and what hair looks better and what, destinations look better. And so I just thought, what role do we as HBCU professionals have to educate students that, because students have to do their own research about going to DR and places like that as well, Cancun, and
Right.
they don't know about those areas either. But they flock there for spring break. They flock there for traveling for fun. And so my question really is, how do we educate our people though to find beauty and to find passion and find interest in finding out more about their own areas and not taking these stereotypes to think about what these places look like? People will spend their financial aid refund checks to go to Miami or to go to DR. And so why aren't we doing using that same money to go to Africa?
But it costs a lot more money to go to Africa, just the tickets alone.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, the round trip ticket might be like, if you get a real good, 1,500, depending on the season. And some of these African cities are now on the web. Like you go to Lagos, you see beautiful hotels. You can fly Delta. In fact, let me go back a bit and talk about what Dr. A mentioned about music. I go to this Zumba class and I'm the only African amongst more than 50 African Americans. Guess the music we dance to? African music all the time. And the coach is not African, she's African American. So the music is one thing that we like from Africa, including Beyonce. Beyonce, do you know she flies to Lagos, Nigeria, pre-COVID, just to get her hair braided and to learn her dance moves? Do you all know that? Beyonce flies to Lagos, Nigeria. And some of these young people, they know it. But the problem they tell me is, Ms. Okoronkwo, we cannot afford the flight ticket, you see?
Right.
So maybe we can begin to tell them to start saving their money. If you start on time, I told one student this, and she saved her money and she went to Lagos and she enjoyed it. If you start saving your money from January to December, you can go to Africa instead of Miami.
Gotcha. Thank you for that.
Actually, they have to shop around. They have to shop around. I went to Egypt for $600 from Houston,
Yes.
I went to Alabama for $700, but when I went to Egypt, it was $100. So they have to shop around. They have to be flexible, So they can do it. I would like to add to answer your questions also. I have different experience, and like at Kent State, the students' organization, they are very strong. And they have international film festival, so every week or every other week they have international film, and some of them they were from Africa, and I enjoyed them, and some of them tell the true story about what's going on in some countries, and all the stuff. So the students' organization have to get involved and bring a lot of speakers, So to the student body, what I notice here, at least at SUNO, most of our students are commuters. So whenever they finish their classes, they just leave, I don't know, SUBR maybe could be better. So the student body will have more time that those culture events. And this is, you're gonna educate the alum and educate the students, educate the administrations. I don't know if Dr. Okuranko, you remember, did you invite me for a Nigerian movie or something at SUNO? I think I attended I saw a movie, I don't know, at SUNO, but those students organization has to work on those things. Thank you.
Thank you. So
Can I,
go ahead.
yeah, can I think, listening to everything that's been said, I think it's important that as a system, we look within ourselves, because I believe this: students, the very students that we have, they are the ambassador to other students across, Africa. That is to say, if these students, their experience here is not what they expect when they came here. I mean, if we are not making, their being here a environment for them to feel comfortable, talk about tuition, you talk about, social, you talk about all of the components. If we don't put in place that core values to uplift, our international students departments, to make sure that the understanding is that we embark on programs within our system that will bring together international students and also, students here. And these programs will educate, other students. In fact, Dr. Mahoney will attest to that. We had a program here where the African students came and danced and demonstrated. I mean, the students loved it, and some of them begin to even ask questions, really what they needed to know about Africa. I mean, it was refreshing. So what I'm saying is that until we begin to understand that the very students we have, if we don't have programs in place to ensure that those who come, they feel they have reason to be here. I'm telling you, they are the same people who are going to go back to Africa, see, talk to their friends over there and say, look, this is what's going on. In fact, you guys know social media is a platform right now. They will go out there and say whatever they want to say about any of our institutions, what their experience is. And these students, they have options. And let's be frank, they have options. It's not only, the system alone. They have options to go to other schools. Let me give you one example. We had a lot of Saudi students here at one time. I mean, higher numbers. But unfortunately today, I look around, I do not find them. In fact, when most of them came to Southern University, what I did was that I knew some of them loved soccer. So I decided to, start coaching, a soccer team. In fact, it was for a year. And I can tell you, I have over 40 international students who were part of that soccer team. And guess what? We were trying to make sure that these students, found a way to be comfortable, found a way to promote our institution. In fact, during that time, I had students literally, sending information back home and saying that, look, I'm playing for Southern University. I'm doing this at Southern University. And some students even wrote that they wanted to come just because they wanted to play for us. So we have to look within ourselves and design a program within Southern University system that will help the current students here so that they can be ambassadors to go out there and promote our institution. But if we are not doing anything, like today, let's say this week, it's International Week. My question is, we having this forum, but if we come back after COVID, what are we doing? Yeah, do we have any activities? Do we have any activities that will collaborate international students and students here together so that international students can display their culture to these students, stimulate, and come together. So again, it is important that we do that. And lastly, one of the things I found out, learning here, Dr. Kim alluded to that is, in Africa, in Liberia, in fact, where I come from, my history is all about America. We learned the history of America that I don't know that even the Liberian history. And when I came here, I'm telling you, from the president, the first president of America to the end, I knew everybody. I knew every city, the governor. I have to know that in Liberia. I learned history there before I came here. So when I came here, a lot of these, states, their capital or what they do, I mean, I was familiar. And also, if we're going to do well within our system as well to impact, we need to incorporate within our curriculum as well, because most of what we do with our curriculum is talking about slavery, and that's fine. That is only based on what African-American experience here, and that's true. But can we go beyond that and look at Africa as a whole, where slavery began, and what it is like being in Africa? So if we do that, students too, we're doing all these classes on, we'll be able to understand what's going on in Africa. But if it's only limited, about civil rights here, and it's not going beyond that, I mean, our student will continue to ask this question: what is going on in Africa? And whereas African students, before they come here, I can tell you majority of them know most of what African-American history than anybody, in fact, who is here, and because it happens to me. So again, we have to look within ourselves. We need to do well to make sure that within certain system, we have solid programs that are geared towards bringing international students, in fact, to the student bodies, organize them programs so that they can, understand exactly what's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Tete. At this time, I want to say to the panel, we appreciate your tremendous input. This has been a tremendous day. We've learned a lot. I know I've made a lot of notes of things that I want to continue to have conversations about. And of course, at the end of the day, the purpose is not only to celebrate international education, but to have a conversation about what we can do as an HBCU, and specifically as the largest historically Black college system in the world, on the planet, what we can do to do our jobs better, to reach out to our brothers and sisters, whether they be on the continent of Africa as part of the African diaspora, or just international students in general. So I've learned a lot, and I want to thank everyone for their participation. At this time, I want to turn it over to Dr. Mahoney. She's going to lead a conversation where we start with SUSLA, then go to SUNO, and then end with Southern Baton Rouge, where we talk about our international education champions. Dr. Mahoney, the floor is yours, ma'am.
All right, this has truly been a captivating experience. Southern University system, globally united for the very first time. I think you all should give yourselves a round of applause. Woo! Yes, all of the students on, thank you so much. We truly appreciate each and every one of our panelists today for sharing, and of course, just building that cultural awareness that we need, and that unity that we need to work, fight for, to take our institution, our system to the next level. On behalf of Dr. Ray Belton, and also Dr. Rodney Ellis for Shreveport, and Lester, our Multicultural and International Affairs Director, for hosting this event, along with our Southern University Baton Rouge Office of International Affairs, Southern University New Orleans Office of International Affairs as well. Thank you all for joining and being so humble, and working with us to ensure that we can provide this experience for our campuses International Week. We appreciate it. So Dr. Lester just mentioned champions, and a lot of you don't realize that you're on this call because we recognize you on this virtual, because we recognize you as champions for our institution, especially our international students, in the lifestyle that they have here to succeed through education at Southern University as a system. And so what is a champion? So a champion is a winner. A champion is someone who really, knows what they're doing. They're really good at something. They're competitive and they want to succeed. A champion is a person who fights for a cause. A champion is a person who strives to find out how great they are. And that is what our next group of individuals have done. They have worked very hard to ensure that not only they find out how great they are, but also that they help our students find out how great they are. And so for Southern University Shreveport, we have two champions. We have many, but we have two champions here today that we want to acknowledge. They don't know that this is going to happen, but our very first champion has been so dedicated to international affairs on the Shreveport's campus. I've been here for over 15 years, and my entire time I've watched this individual go above and beyond to answer the call to support our international students. So at this time, our very first international champion for 2020 is Mr. Elijah Tate. Elijah Tate was born and raised in Liberia.
All right.
Southern University Shreveport for the past 11 years. He serves as our network manager in our IT department. But as he just shared with you a minute ago, he's done so much more for international. So whenever we were not ready to do anything in particular for International Week or Cultural Awareness, Mr. Tate stepped up to the plate for our students. So let's give Elijah Tate a round of applause.
Hey, what a surprise. Thank you.
For
Thank
Southern
you.
University Shreveport.
Thank you.
Ooh, thank you, sir. We'll have something special coming for you soon.
Oh.
International champion for Southern University at Shreveport. Once again, pretty much serves as one of our major liaisons. He was called upon by the Chancellor, Dr. Ellis, to serve our students. And ever since that moment, he has not stopped reaching out to me to find out where he can fit in and how he can be a part of the enhancing this experience at Southern University Shreveport for our international students. So I just want to acknowledge, along with you all at this time, Dr. Kenny Anoche, or Dr. A, as he would say.
Dr. A.
Thank you. Dr. A, of course, is from Nigeria, and he, I realized this information. He is a doctor of medicine that came over to us from the University of Nigeria. So we're so excited about that. He serves as the assistant professor of biology, and he also teaches our human anatomy and physiology courses on our campus. Our students go running to find Dr. A to help with all of their matters, even outside of the institution. So at this time, we would just like to acknowledge you, Dr. A, Dr. Ken.
Right. Thank you very much.
Southern University Shreveport, you are an international champion in our eyes. Thank you.
Right, thank you. So
Dr. Ken, a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and surprisingly enough, we have champions located in Southern University New Orleans, as well as Southern University Baton Rouge. So we're gonna roll over to New Orleans and acknowledge the international champions for the campus that has gone above and beyond for the students on SUNO's campus. I want to, at this time, turn it over to Dr. Melba Williams, if she's can unmute herself, if she can hear us. There's a very special champion that we want to acknowledge for SUNO. And she doesn't know that this is going to happen, but we strategically picked her to be a part of this process because we're hearing great things about what you're doing for the campus. And that is Dr.
Okoronkwo.
So I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Melba Williams. She is our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management here in Shreveport, as well as in Southern University, New Orleans.
Yes, Dr. Okoronkwo. Well, thank you, Dr. Mahoney, for having these recognitions. Dr. Okoronkwo is so special to Southern University at New Orleans, and she is very special to the students on that campus, especially the international students. I'm just so proud of the work that she does and how she presents herself as a vessel for information and as an outreach for our students there. I will recall over the break and during the COVID times when we still had international students that could not travel, they could not go to their schools that they may have been transferring to, or they could not go home due to travel bans. Dr. Okoronkwo and Dr. Elazar, they worked tirelessly to make sure that our students on campus in the housing area had meals. They coordinated to make sure that those students were taken care of. And I want to thank Dr. Okoronkwo and Dr. Elazar for both their hard work. But today, Dr. Okoronkwo, we are honoring you. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Williams. I'm so proud to work under you. I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations. And Dr. O, we're going to turn it over to you for the second champion.
Oh, he should have been the first champion. So Mustafa Eliezer, is he still on the call? I don't see him.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Dr. Eliezer, he is my go-to person. Since he came to SUNO, I was at SUNO before him, but when he came to SUNO, he displayed so much interest in international education. If we were alive, he would have prepared special dishes from Egypt and we'll be eating. Wow. That's what he used to do for SUNO pre-COVID. Every international day or week, he will cook something. I'll just tell him, Dr. Mustafa, you have to do something. He has been a guest speaker every year. He was supposed to be a guest speaker last year, but COVID came. So I cannot do anything by myself unless I consult Dr. Eliezer. And he knows this. He's my go-to person. He gives me the correct advice, the correct direction. I learn from him. And also from Dr. Melda Williams. He has been the best vice chancellor. So yeah. I'm not just saying it because she's on the line. No, she has been the best vice chancellor that SUNO has ever had. I can name one or two, but she ranks #1 in my opinion. You know. Yeah.
Mine too.
Dr. Okoronkwo, thank you very much. And I couldn't do anything without you. If you don't do the program, I cannot do anything. You know. Thank you for your hard work.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Eliezer. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I've always run to you. With COVID, I told him it's just for 1 week. Oh no, he prepared hot meals and delivered them to our students for 4 weeks. So he deserves, he's our champion.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Elazar, so much for everything. You make a difference.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you, SUNO. We're going to turn it over to Southern University A&M. Ms. Carroll in the Office of the International Department. She is our PDSO. So at this time, if you can share what's happening in Baton Rouge, and do we have any champions out there?
I want to share two of our champions. First of all, let me say that I really enjoyed it.
We're trying to hear you a little bit clearer.
You guys hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay, I think I had the speaker covered. I'm sorry. First off, I want to say that I really
We're losing you.
You guys hear me now? It may be the internet connection.
No,
Let me know if you...
closer to the mic.
Get to the mic.
Your laptop.
Oh, well, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right here. Let me turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. Turn it up.
Okay, how is that? Is that any better?
Yeah, a little, much better.
Okay. First of all,
Mr. Tete is working, you know, he's working, trying to help her with the technology.
Yes, that's our technology guru there. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I was trying to say thank you. I really enjoyed it. Part of.
I don't know why we can't hear her.
Let me try to put my headphones in.
Yeah.
We're eager to hear.
Hello?
Yes.
Hear me now? Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Increase the volume on the earphone. I think that's the iPhone,
Well,
yeah,
it's as
increase the
loud as
volume.
it's
Okay.
as loud as it can go.
Okay.
I am. Is this any better?
Yes, if you can
Yeah,
let me
well,
know who
yeah,
your champions are right now, that would be great.
Okay. I have two champions. One of my champions will be Dr. Barbara West Carpenter. She is not on the meeting or the call, but she has been working diligently. And she is aware that she will be identified as one of our champions today. And she serves as the Dean of International our international students as well as our domestic. She also serves as a Louisiana State Company. And my next champion will be
Could you repeat that?
Mr. Pugh, my next champion.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yes, because Mr. Pugh works hard and he works well with us and helping us with our study abroad program to recruit our USA. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay, we could barely hear you, but we wanted to say congratulations to Mr. Eric Pugh, or Dr. Eric Pugh.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for Southern University BR. Congratulations and thank you for being a champion for in our system. We appreciate all that you do for that campus and have done, and we just want to acknowledge you today. So if we can at this time, give all of our SUS champions a round of applause, our international champions, a round of applause. Thank you for your service to the institution and thank you for making a difference for us globally. And we look forward to connecting with each and every one of you in the future to continue to reach out to your nations as you represent international students in every way possible for the Southern University system. At this time, I want to acknowledge once again, Dr. Calvin Lester. He is our Director of Multicultural and International Affairs for Southern University at Shreveport. Thank you so much for assisting with hosting this event today. It was phenomenal. And thank you once again for Southern University Baton Rouge, as well as Southern University New Orleans coordinators and directors. We appreciate you for being on, Dr. O and Ms. Carol and her team. You have done an excellent job. And of course, we would like to acknowledge Dr. Melva Williams, our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management once again. And we bring greetings from Dr. Rodney Ellis on our campus and Dr. Who's SUNO? SUNO's Chancellor, Dr. O, SUNO's interim Chancellor. And unmute yourself.
Dr. Emmons.
Dr. Emmons.
Dr. Emmons.
Serves as the interim Chancellor for Southern University New Orleans. And then of course, our system president, Dr. Ray Belton, as well as Southern University BR. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this international talk. We hope that we can do this really soon. Please join us on Thursday as we continue our international week. Thursday, we will have a captivating cultural awareness experience where our students from every campus, from different walks of different countries, will share fun facts, customs, cultural traditions. They'll come in their very own way to take us to another world. We're so excited about it. And this is our opportunity once again to allow our students to express themselves with confidence, knowing that the SU system provided them an awesome experience to explore the world. Dr. Lester, I'm going to turn it over to you and the team. You have any final words?
My final words are just thank you to you for your leadership. Thank you to Dr. Ellis and certainly to Dr. Williams for their support of our unit, giving us the confidence and the resources to make this happen. We're very excited about it. As someone that's new to the team, I'm excited about what we're doing here, and I really am excited about the opportunity to collaborate with my colleagues in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I think that we're going to do great things individually, but collectively, as Dr. O has said, I think the sky is the limit for Southern University system. And I just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to the panelists for giving of your time again, yet again, to help us with this endeavor. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you to all of our Southern University system students that are on today. Service learning from Southern University BR, Ms. Carroll's courses. Thank y'all for joining us, as well as I see faculty and staff from all campuses. Thank you so much. So we're going to close with this statement from Mahatma Gandhi. Basically, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. And today, SUS was in harmony. For the very first time, we made history. Let's keep this going. We are brothers and sisters in the SU system, and we look forward to taking our system to the next level. I'm going to wish everybody a happy afternoon, and we'll see you on Thursday at 12:30. Same link, same time. Let's support our students. Have a happy International Week.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.